welcome back. It's really great to be here and to be doing a catch up with you. It's just been a beautiful time, a really beautiful time of settling in, and I was going to do this intro before I get into showing you what's happening down at the house with the garden and things. I was going to do the intro from a rock a little bit further down the hill here, between the top of the hill and the house, where I had done that video a while back, earlier, the one where I was in tears and ready to sell because life felt so hard. I thought it would be a really great comparison to gauge from who I was sitting on that same rock to who I am now. But the evening is just too gorgeous to not be up here on the hill. I'm hoping the breeze isn't going to affect the sound. I have the wind buffer on the microphone, and I do want to apologise that some of the sound in the last video was really hard to listen to because of the wind. Sometimes it's just the most slight breeze, and but it picks up on the mic. So I'm hoping it's not too bad now. It's gorgeous. It's such a beautiful evening. It's springtime, and there were a lot of years, over a decade, or probably even 2 decades, where after living in the subtropics and even the tropics for a while, when winter was over, I used to feel very heavy in spirit because spring meant that summer was coming, which meant the heat and the humidity. But last spring here in Anawan country, it's high country. It's one of the highest towns in Australia, is within an hour's drive from here. So it's totally different. We get the 4 proper seasons, and last spring was beautiful and so special, and I finally understood why people love spring so much. And I found myself again when winter has been finishing here. We've still got the fire on overnight, so it's gorgeous, beautiful days and cool nights. But when winter was first showing its signs of finishing, I found that familiar dread of, oh no, here comes the heat. But I have to rewrite that story in my mind, because spring is just perfect here. So perfect. So I've been creating a garden, but more than anything I've been creating peace. I've been experiencing a peace within me that, I've had a lot of peaceful times. I'm a long-term meditator. I've also had a lot of suffering because I go for big dreams, which means breaking through old stories and upper limits and that sort of thing. But the peace that I'm experiencing now, it's just a whole new level, and it comes not only with peace, but it comes with joy and pockets of bliss. And yes, so I've come a long way since I've bought this place, and even since I was here last. It's just been a beautiful time of grounding and settling in and finding so many beautiful moments. Now, I don't have the new zoom lens yet. It is on order. So hopefully by next episode I can be a bit closer up with the wildlife. But as you'll see, they're not so far away sometimes. They're getting used to me being around. Anyway, on with the show. Winter is well and truly gone. and spring has almost skipped straight into summer. Even the mulberry tree is blooming for its first season after 2 years of gentle growth. It's been a significant and nurturing time of grounding. My love affair with home deepens daily. I absolutely love living here and feel it fully in my heart. Whenever I am away from home now, I am thinking of it and looking forward to returning. A part of the deepening of my connection is the time I am spending in the garden. It's a new creative expression for me, and one I love. In some ways, it is the rocks that are leading the way. There are so many of them within reach to frame borders. That wasn't in the plan, but it was the start of letting the garden lead me instead of the other way around. For the western garden, where it all started, my daughter simply lifted large rocks and dropped them onto the huge one underneath to break them into smaller sizes. It worked wonders. Once we had one border done, I was hooked. On the eastern and northeastern sides, there have been plenty to claim without effort. Once this large bed was done, we had a few left over, so moved to a few smaller terraces beside the huge boulder we love. And on it went. My daughter and her friend were keen to help, especially enticed by pocket money. They were amazing, collecting rocks from the top of the large rock so that the terracing could continue. Their help came to an abrupt stop, though, when the first snake of the season was discovered underneath one. It was a small eastern brown, venomous and woken from its winter slumber. That was the end of my work crew. Thankfully, I have a great neighbour who came up and looked underneath the rock, which was now too from where the girls had dropped it in shock. We've decided that since we use the rock a lot, and the dogs are always on it, the best thing to do is gradually clear all the surface rocks from it, so there is nowhere for snakes to hide. My neighbour helped make the rocks a more manageable size. My daughter also pitched in and did her bit. There are over 30 acres and, as you can see, countless other boulders, so the snakes won't be exactly homeless, but this clearing up will hopefully move them on from the house area. The terracing has been a huge process, but lays the formation for numerous small gardens, which will be gorgeous in time, if the birds don't eat everything I plant. For now, I've put in a stack of flower seeds, some for the birds and hopefully some to survive. It's not really worth wasting more money on seedlings until I can be sure what flowers the birds will eat or leave alone. The discovery of fresh roo poo beside 2 terraces the other morning made me wonder about it all. So I've sown a couple of 100 flower seeds and goodness knows how it's all going to turn out. The bulbs I put in as soon as the soil was down seem to be doing splendidly though, so that's great. Either way, I'll take this first year as my trial run and learn what I can from it. Along with the sky, it was the rocks that drew me to buy this land. So I love that they are now playing such a significant role in my grounding and creativity. There were so many fears to work through with buying this land and building our tiny home. I thought I was crazy at times, that I had rocks in my head. Now I am experiencing a level of peace far deeper than anything I've known before. The pain of breaking through all those fears has become more than worth it. The only rocks in my head now are beautiful elements of nature that are guiding me in my creativity and helping to connect me further to this land. There are so many simple moments when I just have to stand and breathe it all in. Moments of no real significance, but impossible to not be a part of. The dogs and I seem to have started a bit of a routine of walking up to the hilltop most afternoons. Sometimes it's for sunset, or sometimes before. I love that the hill I fell in love with is also somewhere the roos love to hang out some days. We go gently amongst them, and I feel they are getting used to my voice, or in the least, sense that I'm not a threat. There are so many of them about. I had no idea just how many until I finally moved here. The seeds are planted and spring continues to unfold. I look forward to hopefully sharing more colour from the garden in the next episode. We can never know what seeds we sow in life will sprout and which will never do so. But we still need to keep sowing the seeds of our dreams and believing in possibilities. Sometimes, as I've found in my own life, the seeds you least expect to do well thrive, and others that you think will do so don't. It is the nature of life. We have little control over the final outcome, but that doesn't mean it's not worth continuing to sow seeds. It's worth being surprised by how some seeds bloom in ways we least expect. Thanks for the time shared here, and until the next episode, do your best to keep leaning into wonder.